What's going on, everyone? It's time for another film review. Today we're going to do another action horror vampire film called The Breed. Yeah, it's not the Wes Craven killer dog movie but that he produced, but yeah. So, it's released by the Motion Picture Corporation of America, July 19th, 2001. It was produced by Brad Kelly, Adam Richmond, Kelly Knop, and Bruce Burke. Written by Christian N. Cage and Ruth C. Uh, Fletcher, and directed by Michael Oblowitz, who also did films like The Traveler, The Foreigner, Out for a Kill, This World, then The Fireworks. He's more of an action film director, but yeah, this is his like one horror thriller that he did. This had a budget of $4 million, and yeah, so this has quite the Blade Runner type vibe to it, and it has a more darker feel. Not dark like Underworld dark, but it's similar in tone with that. So the breed. Well, so there is vampires lurking in the shadows of a almost a post-apocalyptic city almost, and yeah, this one detective gets starts goes on a case, and he learns of this head vampire chick, and starts digging into it, and then slowly starts becoming more enticed to get to know her more and her syndicate of vampires more in the city. So he goes, and then hookups flourish because it's a vampire movie, and so you have some of that. But then he realizes the dark intentions of them of harvesting blood from the population and stuff, and it's up to him to basically go out and stop this big organized crime, basically. Type setup. And so he goes and tries to take down the lead vampires and stuff in a brutal fashion. It's your typical vampire action movie. It takes some elements of Blade, just tones it down a bit more for like a less violent and more. They try to be more dramatic with everything, and so the setup for this film was interesting. It, like I said, it has like a cheaper Blade Runner sort of vibe to it and feel. It has that somewhat dark, gritty underbelly tone, sort of like Underworld has, and they take that and they as the story progresses, it gets more and more chaotic. And that the acting is hit and miss though with most of the characters. Some of the characters aren't really fleshed out that well either, like written very well. But they still work in the confines of the story, and especially like the lead older vampire that's behind it all that near the end. He's kind of just thrown in there, and then it wasn't as well um, conceived as a villain. It's made it harder to believe, and he's very easy to beat at the end, and which I thought was kind of a downer. But the concept was somewhat cool. It's kind of similar to most vampire movies, though, where basically there's like a cure and stuff like that. So if you kill the vampire or whatever that attacks you, then you get healed. So basically, the detective has to figure that out and then goes after them. But yeah, for the most part, it's a good cat and mouse game with vampire stuff thrown in. It has some good dark bleak spots. The Yeah, I like the most of it. The action scenes are pretty cool. They're far in between, but still interesting. And with all the dialogue and stuff in between, they still keep your attention and stuff. It keeps you on edge a bit. It's better than like Vampires the Turning and things like that. Some movies like that and Twilight and all that fun stuff. So I thought that was good. It's still not the greatest, but like the ending scene, the last like 20 minutes was really fun and entertaining, and the way that the vampire just blows up at the end with like all the CG blood and fun stuff, that was pretty amusing. And they do make vampires look a little more menacing than most movies. So, but not as crazy as like the Blade movies or From Dusk Till Dawn. Those ones still pushed it to the even more chaotic. This one's sort of like in the middle. It's better than most TV zombie movie or vampire movies, but It's still not up to the par of the other two that I mentioned, at least. But it's still good action horror film. Not really scary, though, just more chaotic underworld style. So, with that, I'm going to give The Breed a 3 out of 5. It's better than I remembered it being. The first time I watched it, I was probably stoned and didn't really like it, but going back in and watching it a second time, it's actually not that bad. Vampires Returning was way worse. So, but yeah, so yeah, that's what I thought of The Breed. If this sounds like something you're interested in, or if you want to relive it or whatever, I'll link the trailer down below, and maybe if I can find it somewhere, I'll link it so you can check it out there. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram, that's linked down below. That's where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my stories. You have the film title hashtag and subgenre film and the hashtag so you're aware of it. And also my Letterbox is linked down below. Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating after watching the films. Follow me on one of those two platforms. Stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video. Share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you've seen it. And also, if you have any films or film franchises in any genre that you want to hear my opinions on in the future sometime, comment them down below. I'll try my hardest to get to them as soon as I can and if I can find them. And don't forget to subscribe so if you find something weird, obscure, and odd that you probably never thought of checking out together, somewhat like this. And also so you could hear my opinions on popular films coming out, classic films, and reviews on other things as well. And don't forget to hit that bell because, yeah, I'm going to go more into creature feature territory with The Cave. Half my friends half the people I know like that movie, half the people hate it, and I never actually stated my opinions on it, so I'm going to review watch it and review that one next. So make sure you tune in for that because creature features are like my all-time favorite horror genre. So obviously, I'm going to try to do as many of those as I can. So make sure you tune in for that, ring that bell, and watch out for all those crazy vampire detectives and evil vampire syndicates out there trying to take over us. And I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.